Sometimes if you have an LLC and you're just trying to get a business line of credit, but you have no revenue, it can be really complicated to have the funding that you need, right? So in today's conversation, what I want to do is I want to spill all the beans for you so you have a clear idea of what you need to do. So here are the steps you need to follow if you're trying to get an LLC business line of credit with no revenue. The first thing is you need to choose the type of LLC business line of credit, no revenue that you're looking for. See, the whole thing is that if you don't position yourself with the right type of funding, you're not going to get the product, the money you need, boss. This is important. So, son, daughter, what I want you to do right now is to decide between a secured and unsecured line of credit. Because when we talk about LLC business line of credit, no revenue, you can have a secured line of credit or an unsecured line of credit. It's very important. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have money, I don't have assets. My LLC doesn't have assets. How can I have a secure line of credit? Because a secure line of credit means that your LLC has to pledge business assets. Now, my thing is, if you have a properly established LLC, chances are your business has assets. Otherwise, you can't be a business if you have no assets. I mean, like if you're a business, you have a balance sheet. So if I look at your LLC balance sheet, I'm sure that you have assets. So you first want to think about whether or not it might be ideal for you to actually pledge some of your assets to get an LLC business line of credit with no revenue. So the whole thing is when we talk about no revenue, we mean that either you cannot prove your income, or you just have no revenue, like you're just still struggling right now. So if just look at your balance sheet. You probably have a piece of equipment, you have a piece of machinery, something that has value that you can pledge, okay? And then you have the unsecured LLC business line of credit that is not secured, like there's no asset that secures it. There's no collateralization process here, so you don't have to post collateral. And so for those amounts, for a secure business line of credits for your LLCs, it can go from somewhere from $10,000 all the way to 1 million, depending on the underlying value of the assets. For an unsecured, usually you are capped around $250,000. Okay, so the thing is, please first decide which one works for you, depending on your situation. Depending on your situation. Okay, now for an unsecured business line of credit, lenders usually ask for a higher credit score. Okay, very important. The second thing I want you to do here is you need to research lenders' requirements. Boss, this is really important. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And the thing is, when we talk about LLC business lines of credit, no revenue, and you need to understand. A lot of folks are saying, well, banks are not going to lend you if you don't have if you have no revenue. That's not true. That's not true. If you reach out to the right bank, if you reach out to the right credit union, you are going to get an LLC business line of credit, no revenue, with a massive amount. But when we talk about reaching out to the right to the right financial institution, we're not talking about any random financial institution. We are speaking about a financial institution that you have actually built a relationship with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to build a relationship. That means you must have been with them for a while now. Okay, you must have like a business accounts with them, business checking accounts, business savings account for your LLC. And ideally, you want to have the same bank for your personal banking needs. Okay, so you have a personal checking accounts and personal savings account. It's really important, boss. If you are trying to get an LLC business line of credit with no revenue, to always start with the financial institutions where they already know you. Okay, so we're talking about what we like to call it NPR. This is the term that's the acronym that our team has been using for the last 25, 30 years. NPR, multi product relationship. So you are basically cultivating a better relationship with your lender. See, okay, now if you don't have access to a good, like a solid bank, or your bank does not want to hear about whatever you just are talking about, then you can actually try online lenders and alternative lenders. What I want to tell you here is that you can get an LLC business line of credit, no revenue. You can get a massive amount if you do things the proper way. So contact first your bank and credit union. And what you want to do here is that you want to research each lender's requirements. So when you contact them, you got to ask them, hey, listen, I'm looking for an LLC business line of credit, no revenue. What are the criteria that I should fulfill? What are the conditions for this? Ask questions. And for banks and credit unions, it's a lot better to go to a branch yourself, okay, to sit down with the representative and ask questions. Sometimes you'll be surprised, boss. You'll be really surprised if you're looking for an LLC business line of credit, no revenue. You'll be surprised the kind of intel you get by going to the branch, by going to a source directly. The third thing I want you to do here is that you need to gather the required information. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about LLC business lines of credit, no revenue. Very important. See, the thing is, when I talk about gathering the required information, I'm not just asking you to go on the company's website and actually take the info that is there and just apply it. Start collecting data. No, you gotta contact the company directly. The reason why some information on websites is just outdated. I mean, you don't know when was the last time they updated the website. So you might, if you're basing your opinion or your information on what you find on the website, that's just wrong. That's why sometimes we see people telling us in the comment section, yeah, I went to the website and the info you told me it is opposite to what we found on the website. Yeah, but hey, boss. That's because our research is up to date. We go to the source. We don't go to a website. A website is not a source. You go to the branch. You call the company directly. You have email exchanges. You talk to loan reps. That's how you get info. That's how you get the information, okay? So when we talk about gathering the required information, we're talking about your LLC business licenses, your LLC articles of organization, because see, the lender wants to make sure that you are in compliance with the states, with state authorities in your area, okay? And you might have to provide personal and business bank statements for your LLC, okay? The lender might want to see your P&L. It doesn't matter if you're making revenue or not. They just want to have some kind of financial statements, and the financial statement can be projected or actual. Okay, so think about, you need to have an LLC business plan. You got to have a business plan for your LLC. If you're trying to have an LLC business line of credit, no revenue, you got to have a business. I don't care. Listen, I don't care like people telling you, well, you don't need a business plan. They are lying to your face. They are lying to your face. They are dazzling you. Somebody's telling you you don't need a business plan to get a line of credit or a business loan, no revenue. They are lying to you, okay? And the lender might also want to see personal and business tax returns. So those are really important, personal tax returns and your LLC business tax returns. So I'm talking about your 1065 and all the accompanying schedules of K1. Very important. Now, I've been talking a lot about, so number one, you want to choose the right type. You want to research the lender's requirements. You want to gather the required information. Now, it's about time you selected a lender. See, the whole thing is that you're doing research, right? Don't you try to waste too much time doing research. Otherwise, you will actually suffer from something called, you will suffer something called analysis paralysis. So, boss, if you're an LLC business member, if you're an LLC business founder, you make sure that you select a lender, okay? And the thing is that you have to understand multiple types of lenders offer LLCs, business lines of credit. And I just told you this before, including traditional banks, credit unions, and online lenders, okay? So you also have alternative lenders. And even though online lenders and credit unions have more flexible qualification requirements than traditional banks, nowadays, alternative lenders are also big players. They are kicking ass like crazy. I mean, it's not about it's not about, hey, I don't think I can qualify. No, you can qualify. You can definitely qualify. But you know why? Because we have done research about this topic for the last 30 years, and our own business clients are getting business lines of credit, LLC business lines of credit with no revenue every single day. Every single day, boss. Every single day. So you just have to, when we talk about the lender you want to select, there are some considerations you want to think about. What are their requirements? What are their maximum credit limits? Okay. What are their repayment plans? Because they have do they have a longer draw period or a shorter draw period and a repayment period? Okay. Pay attention to what each lender offers and choose the one that best suits your LLC business needs. So what about the requirements? Okay, it's important to look at the requirements to be sure your LLC business can meet them. Okay, what about the associated fees? Those are important also, because the last thing you want is to actually pay like a constellation of fees, like fees, and you're like, oh wow, I'm just out of here, you know. So, and also think about the special features. I mean, some lenders, some LLC business lenders, they may offer perks such as credit monitoring services or reporting payments to a credit bureau. Okay, that make their lines of credit stand out. So you just what I'm trying to say here is that I want you to cast a wider net so you have a clearer idea what your LLC business line of credit might look like. The next thing I want you to do right now is to apply. I want you to apply for an LLC business line of credit. Okay. By the way, what is today's topic? I just want to quickly remind you, we are having a conversation about LLC business lines of credit with no revenue. Okay. And the thing here is that when we talk about applying, again, you can apply online, you can apply over the phone, you can apply in person, depending on the lender. If you decide to go with an online lender, you can only apply online, right? Because they usually have a platform, they have a dedicated platform, and they'll tell you, hey, listen, go on this website and apply there. But if you're lucky enough that a credit union or bank wants to see your line of credit application, I beg the hell out of you, please go to a branch. Okay, don't you have a lazy ass attitude and say, listen, yeah, I'm gonna sit my ass down and just apply online. Don't do this, especially if your LLC has no revenue. Make sure that you go to a branch with your paperwork, be presentable, okay, be polite, and just do everything there. Your chances of approval will be high, okay. And so make sure that you have provided all the required documentation. Also confirm the details and numbers you have actually gathered before submitting, okay. Now let me give you a bonus here. When we talk about LLC business lines of credit, you do have sometimes costs and fees that are really important. You need to be really aware of those, okay? And LLC business line of credit lenders, they charge fees to open and use an LLC business line of credit. All lenders will charge an annual percentage rate, a percentage that represents the loan's interest or the line of credit interest plus fees. And other fees vary from lender to lender. Okay, so here are some of the common fees that you might actually encounter. So you have draw fee, you have payment processing fee, you have wire transfer fee, you have late fee, you have payment penalty, prepayment penalty. So it's important to have a clear idea about those fees because those fees eat into your money, okay? So many lenders, for example, charge a draw fee each time you tap into your LLC business line of credit, no revenue. And the draw fee may be somewhere from 1% to 4% of the amount you withdraw. In terms of payment processing fee, some lenders charge a payment processing fee for the convenience of paying your bill or online, for example. What about wire transfer fee? Well, it can be $15 or $20 depending on the lender. So really important to have a clear idea about those things. Let me give you a few pro tips so you really have you can actually always have a better game when it comes to this LLC business line of credit. See, the whole thing here is that when we talk about establishing and maintaining an LLC business line of credit with no revenue, sorry about that, with no revenue, you need to understand it's not about just applying randomly. You need to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy. You got to really understand what really matters to your LLC, okay? And when we talk about preparing your LLC business to apply for a line of credit, there are things you need to do to be in the top position and top shape when you reach out to lenders, right? You want to pay your bills on time, all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're thinking about applying for an LLC business line of credit, business loan, business credit card, and whatnot. You got to pay your bills on time so that you can actually have a good credit score. See, the thing is, when we talk about LLC business line of credit, no revenue, your credit score must be really, really good. If it's not good, there are still ways to actually get your LLC business line of credit approved. But if you had perfect credit, that's just a lot better, okay? So you want to refrain from opening credit accounts business-wise and personally also, okay? And you want to pay down existing credit accounts. Because an important factor in deciding to grant an LLC business line of credit is how much of your available credit you're using now. Okay, if you are maxed out on all of your credit accounts, you will have a strong likelihood of being rejected. So having credit accounts is a good thing. It shows that you are creditworthy, but you will need to bring your balances down to show that you are not overextended on existing credit accounts. Okay, so those are things I really want you to think about. When we talk about paperwork, please make sure that you actually organize your paperwork. Things like your balance sheet, your bank statements, your profit and loss statements, okay, your business tax returns, your personal tax returns. So I spoke earlier about your LLC business tax return. So your Form 1065 plus all the accompanying schedules K1 and your personal tax returns, especially your Schedule C. Your Schedule C also very important. And one thing you have to constantly think about, and this is something we have seen across the board. If you are trying to always win when you apply for an LLC business line of credit, no revenue, you need to have strong credit. Okay, you got to have a strong credit, and you got to have a strong credit score, and you need to also have a business plan. The thing is that and you need to be clear. You need to have a clear explanation when the lender asks you, why don't you make money? In other words, you need to reassure the lender that your business has revenue potential. Your business model can be monetized. Okay, you have a plan in place. This is why a business plan for your LLC is really important. Okay, you can't just underestimate this business plan. It's really important. Credit score also must be high. If you say you have no revenue, that means that you're trying to compensate that by having a good credit score. And we have seen that, there's a minimum 600 is important. And just make sure that if the lender asks you to have actually justify some kind of operational history, you are able to do that. So we're talking about, for example, they'll ask you to have 6 months in business or 12 months in business. This is something that lenders pay attention to a lot. Okay. And again, I started this conversation by saying, listen, when we talk about an LLC business line of credit, you can choose the type. Okay. So you are choosing secured or unsecured. It really depends on you. But yeah, if you want to pledge collateral, make sure that the collateral are worth something. And by the way, when I say collateral, it's not just your tangible collateral, right? You can also pledge short-term collateral such as accounts receivable. Okay, it doesn't have to be long-term assets such as equipment and machinery. No, it can be accounts receivable or something else that is short-term. Okay, and just make sure that when we talk about you want to clean your credit, make sure that you are actually removing from your credit any derogatory items, or if you want to apply, you want to also think about the major derogatory credit events like bankruptcies, foreclosures, or tax liens. Those are really things that will slow down your ALC business line of credit no revenue application. And you always have to ask yourself, you need to understand your credit needs. Okay, what type of line of credit is best for you, and what is the timing? What's the best timing when it comes to applying? When it comes to and have you thought about shopping rates for your ALC business lines of credit? So the bottom line here is that you can't just say, listen, yeah, I'm just going to choose the first lender that comes to me. No. You want to do your research and make sure that you are choosing an LLC business line of credit that actually suits your business big time. Okay, big time. Very, very important. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was quickly talking to you about LLC business lines of credit, no revenue, how to get a fat amount, okay, really fast. So the steps are choose the type of LLC business line of credit, no revenue that actually suits your business. Research lenders' requirements, gather the required information, select the lender, and apply for a business line of credit. And then I gave you some other information in the bonus category and also as some pro tips. Very, very critical. Thank you so much. I will actually speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.